whole row, but it was, yeah.
Alright.
Ready?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you ready?
Great.
All right, great. Good evening, everyone. It is 5:30. This is the City of Sugar Land Parks Board meeting, October 14th, 2025. I'm calling this Sugar Land Parks Board meeting to order. Please note that this meeting is a open meeting to the public and is being recorded as per the Texas Open Meeting Tag, which is available to the public. First item, we have any public speakers?
No one found there.
Thank you. Next item we have is for the consideration of an action on the meeting minutes from September 9th, 2025. Can I get a motion for approval? Thank you, Sonny. Johnston, second. Thank you, John Hanson. I gotta say.
You're welcome.
Okay. Those in favor? All right, thank you all. Okay. The motion carries for the meeting minutes for September 9th, 2025. Next item we have is the Public Arts Project, Civic Arts Program Updates. Shay Davis will be presenting this evening, Civic Arts Manager.
Hi, everyone. So today I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an update on kind of what we've been working on this year, what we worked on in general, and then we'll talk about something that's really a huge focus for us for 2026. And also thank you for having me again. I'm glad to be here. So a little agenda, we'll give a Civic Arts Division overview, kind of like how we've been doing since 2016, and there's a reason for that. I'll kind of elaborate. Then we'll give some general program updates of things that we've done this year. And then we'll talk about the upcoming focus for 2016, which is standardization. And we're talking about a public art plan, why a new plan is needed, the consultation selection process that we went through, what the new plan will deliver, and leave any time for questions. So a couple general program updates. Something I want to call your attention to is every single photo in this slideshow is from this year. So it's very exciting to kind of see the division grow, and I'm really excited to kind of show you guys what we've been up to. So since 2016, since our last public art plan was developed, our division moved from economic works to public works. Economic development to public works. We underwent a name changing from cultural arts to civic arts. And the reason for that was to focus on the community engagement portion, in which if you've been following us for like the last 3 years, you see every single project we do has a major community engagement aspect to respond to what the city needs. We completed multiple permanent art installations, Smart Financial, T. Harmon, Sugar Land Airport, Mayfield Park, Oyster Creek Park. We developed Canvas Sugar Land, which is how we get all of our murals up. That is the theme for just pretty much everything we do. We launched Summer Sound Music Festival in Oyster Creek Park and an international celebration of Make Music Day in Town Square. We just celebrated our 2nd year. We have done pilot projects addressing community needs, such as the Literacy is Art Initiative, the Mental Health Initiative, the Public Art Liaison Program, which led to our Mayfield Park mural and guided our Sugar Land Better Blocks design in all community-led activations. We grew an artist engagement program. We have our artist roster, we have artist in residency programs, we've done mural sponsorships and neighborhood art activations. Our partnership with state agencies led to our designation as a music-friendly Texas community through the Texas Economic Development Office and Music-Friendly Texas. We have repaired, removed, and relaunched poorly maintained, damaged, or end-of-life artworks. We did a reevaluation of our artwork contracts to include a rental program. This is like the coolest thing. I'm super excited because that led to High by Kozo in front of Smart Financial, which we'll talk about. Then we have our artists in residencies, our short-term activations, marketing and storytelling methods, and performing arts, which we just recently added. And then the launch of Sugar Land Better Blocks, a creative placemaking initiative hosted in an underutilized lot, creating a park-like setting for our community with multiple uses and stunning aesthetics designed by our residents. So these are just a couple of things that we were able to complete over the last couple of years that I've been here. I know you guys have seen a good bit of these. Mayfield Park, we literally just finished that one in March. Incredible piece. I don't know if you guys have been, but it's stunning. And then our Smart Financial Center gallery renovation. This is our rental program. Previously, in our previous public art plan, it forbade us from rental of any pieces. Every single piece that had to be brought to the city had to be a fresh commission. If you know anything about commissioning art, that is a long process. So renting pieces allowed us to reach out to Habakozo, which is an international artist collective. And we have these pieces on lease in front of Smart Financial for the next 3 years. We also renovated the concrete pads. We installed electrical conduits, which allows these pieces to light up at night. And after 3 years, we can bring in new pieces, rent those and it could be a completely different idea. And now we have electricity in front of Smart Financial. So it's literally the most incredible thing. I don't know if you guys have been out there, but it's stunning. And then Build Better Blocks. We have our garden program that runs out there now. We have live music. We have yoga every Sunday. That is activated through March 2026. And again, we just got our music-friendly certification this past fiscal year, which allowed us the ability to be entered into the music-friendly program, which drives artists to the city to perform. So a little bit about us, if you haven't met us before, we basically lead the development and integration of arts, culture, and creative placemaking in the community. And our mission is to enhance quality of life, foster community pride, and strengthen Sugar Land's identity through public art, cultural programming, and partnerships. We serve as the connector between artists, residents, and city departments, ensuring public art and cultural initiatives reflect community values while aligning with council's strategic priorities. And this is also from Better Block this shot as well. So we'll talk a little bit about the public art plan. So what is a public art plan? It's a strategic roadmap that guides how the city commissions, funds, and maintains public art. It outlines our goals, policies, and priorities for integrating art into public spaces, and it serves as a vision document. If you go online right now and you look up Sugar Land Cultural Arts, because it still says Sugar Land Cultural Arts, because the last document was made in 2016, you can find our previous public art master plan. It is severely outdated. And it does not in any way allow for the art that we've been able to do over the last couple of. What do cities do with them? They use the plan to identify maintenance needs. And as you see on the left here, there's actually us with a conservatory checking the vortex, which is out in front of the airport. And it forecasts demographic shifts in civic needs and city response and funding to associate with installation needs as they grow. Basically, as we are growing our art collection, our maintenance fund is not growing. And a public art plan helps to kind of establish what that looks like for one pieces. So it allows us to kind of forecast how much art can we install and maintain based on our current budget, and what does that budget need to look like in 3 years, and 5 years, and 10 years. Right now, we don't have that forecasting. It establishes partnership opportunities, focused economic growth areas, and potential funding strategies for artists and projects. We did not receive any funding for performance art or music or any of that for this next upcoming year. So all of our performance opportunities have now kind of ceased to exist. So we're looking to build sponsorship opportunities. We're looking to find ways to fund live music in the city as we don't have the funding to do so. And the public art plan outlines ways to establish those partnerships and ways for us to seek out funding to bring in the city based on the requirements of our particular accounts for civic arts. Data and facts. How does this project truly make us the greatest? Public Arts Plan shows you how to use your community engagement, partnerships with local artists, businesses, and organizations to build relationships, visibility, and community identity. Right now, we are doing that based on really my knowledge. So we go out into the communities, we go to their homes. We were at a barbecue a couple weeks ago, and we meet the community and we talk to them, and we created the community liaison program, and people can join and they can have conversations with us, and we gain information that way. But we do need to standardize programs so that it's a legacy built. So anyone who comes into this position, should anything happen to me, they can continue to make sure that the city is taken care of as far as public art and community engagement is concerned. Why is it needed? It provides clarity and coordination across departments, artists, and community partners. It helps leverage the city's investment by prioritizing impactful, well-placed artworks that add long-term value. It builds community pride and identity through art that reflects Sugar Land's character and story. It strengthens economic vitality and tourism appeal through art that attracts visitors and supports local businesses. And encourages collaboration and innovation between city departments, civic partners, and the creative community. Right now, as we approach things, we are doing them on a basis of a space that's available and a community that's open and willing. We don't have a standardized process at all. It's honestly just us going out and asking questions. A standardized process allows us to make sure that it's clear to other departments what we're doing. They can, just like right now, they can Google the 2016 plan, they'll be able to Google the 2026 plan and find out what we're up to. Right now, that's not a possibility. There's no way to find out what Civic Arts is doing. The name change is not currently in our plan. The community engagement is not currently in our plan, and it is completely outdated demographics. So we'll go to the recommendation portion of this, and we'll talk about the consultation selection process. So what we did was we developed an RFP and metrics in collaboration with Data and Innovation. The result of that was a well-developed submission and selection process, and then we put that on OpenGov for open call. We had 8 completed applications. This is a very niche market to do public art plans. And then we had a panel of 7 department stakeholders who reviewed the top applicants. The top 2 candidates were narrowed down and contacted for panel interviews with stakeholders. The interviews were conducted and score sheets were completed, and MIG was overwhelmingly selected based on proposal, interview, and reputation. So a little bit about MIG. They are the public art consulting go-tos in a lot of cities. They have international offices, so they don't just study one city, they study cities across the world and how they operate, how they do their funding, how they do their sponsorships. They do visualization, mapping, data-driven planning tools, and they will leave us with the ability to continue this division in a way that will be successful for the long run and not just while I'm thinking of cool ideas. Some of their notable products: Addison Parks, Recreation and Open Space Master Plan in Addison, Texas. Downtown Greensboro 2030 strategic plan, and then the Denver downtown area neighborhood plans as well. Now, if by any chance you ever want to see any more of their work, I'm going to go here. I do not know what I just did as far as this slideshow is concerned, but I do really genuinely think that it is important to kind of go to their site. I listed 3 things because this is a presentation in a room. This is over 19 pages long. This is the top firm to complete this work. How do I go back to that slide? But I encourage you, please go and look at it. We really were lucky to pull in some of the best, and they have done plans across the planet, honestly. So we'd be lucky to have them. Okay, I think there's
Left tab, I think the left tab, the top and the left tab,
top left.
top left there, huh?
Maybe just hit escape.
Arrow back, arrow back.
There you go. Stop, guys. Okay, so as far as outcome is concerned, they want to help us with developing community engagement standards and data tracking tools. Right now, the standard is Ebony and I go out, we meet them, we get to know them, and then we track all of the data. We have it all, stored. So if anybody want to access any conversations, we record everything, but it's not standardized. It's not something that if, for instance, I go down for 6 months and someone else needs to come in and they need access to that, they would have to call me every day. There would be no standard way to get access to that information. The way that they do that is host workshops, listening sessions with residents, artists to identify community art priorities and collect feedback and create dashboards for transparency and progress to tracking. One of the boards that they would meet will obviously be the PARCS board. They'd also do some community engagement. They meet with 4B, they meet with council. They really do, they have 4 different workshops planned to meet with city stakeholders along with the residents in order to develop this plan. They create funding and partnership strategies. They do that through collaborating with local businesses, developers, and organizations to identify sponsorship, grant, and matching fund opportunities that expand city impacts. This is not just us receiving funds. We also have a sponsorship program in the Civic Arts Division where we sponsor art for businesses. And after they pay for a mural through one of our artists roster, artists that paint, we also have to approve it, make sure it's Visit Sugarland friendly. And then we reimburse them to put a mural on their building. That really takes a lot of weight off our division because it's really just 2 of us. But this also refines that program as well. Establish long-term maintenance and conservation guidelines. This is one of our biggest hurdles, long-term maintenance and conservation. We have art that's been out since the development of this particular division, 2016, and they are past their lifetime. They're past their life cycle, and we don't have a deaccessioning program. We basically have to go do conservative. We do ROI. How much did we spend on this piece? How much will it cost to conserve? Then we have to present to council to try to get it deaccessioned. We don't have a process for that right now. So we do have some pieces that really need to come down. Develop a citywide marketing and visibility strategy for public art. Right now, we work with communications to release press releases as it happens, but we do need to be consistently having conversations about the art generated in the city to make sure visibility matches investment. If we're putting out pieces, why is no one talking about it? The pieces in front of Smart Financial City have yet to receive a press release that's impactful, and I feel like that's something that needs to be, worked through. So what would this new plan deliver? A clear framework to standardize how public art is commissioned, funded, and maintained. Updated policies and procedures that align with the current city goals and community needs. Funding and partnership strategies to expand impact without increasing city burden. Marketing and visibility guidelines to ensure art projects are promoted in a way that positively reflects community values and identity. A roadmap for maintenance and sustainability, protecting long-term investments in art, and a unified vision, connecting art, infrastructure, and growth initiatives. So do any questions for me?
Yeah, I do.
Absolutely.
So thank you for the presentation there. I see the really thorough scoping process that you went through, some of the vetting. Just basic question. I mean, MIG, are they a local company or are they outside the city?
Yes, they are in this San Diego. They are in San Diego. They do have a Houston office, but their headquarters is in San Diego. There are 0 public art planning offices in the state of Texas. None. Right.
So are they going to be working with you here? Are they in there's no office, you said?
They do have an office in Houston.
Oh, they do.
Their headquarters is in San Diego.
So they do have a presence here. Okay.
Absolutely.
And then as part of that scoping, what is the actual, it seems like a lengthy scope. So I'm assuming this is gonna be a lengthy contract duration. So what is it, 6 months, a year?
9 to 12 months.
Thank you.
The artwork that is in need of maintenance, which one does your team consider the one that needs the most? Because we probably voted it in.
You mentioned like something needs to be removed or should be.
Yeah, which ones are we
Honestly,
talking?
all of the donations located at Oyster Creek Park need to be removed.
Oyster Creek Park.
When we had the conservator go out last year, there is extreme corrosion on those pieces. There is rust. The inside of them are corroded. But because it's a donation, there are some laws around removing a donated piece. The same person who donated that piece donated the astronaut that was located in another park. We were able to contact him to get his permission to remove the piece because it did have to be, it was broken, once we finished. And we have to also get the permission to dispose of it if they don't want it anymore. So once a piece is donated, we have to reach out to the person who donated it. We have to do an ROI on it to see how much is maintenance versus how much it was for him to pay for it. We have to find the original artist and get their permission if that's necessary. But a lot of the pieces that were donated by that individual, they weren't created by an artist. They were made in a factory. So we don't have an artist that we need to consult. We just have to make sure he's okay with it and see if he actually wants the discarded pieces. The pieces that are located in Oyster Creek Park, they're supposed to be bronze, but they're not. They're a composite material, so they cannot be repaired. They cannot be repaired. And they are corroded from the inside out. And we are on a little bit of borrowed time of a child climbing it and it kind of collapsing, but because we don't have a process to remove them, if the donor says no, we're in a bit of a pickle, and he has said no, that he does not want those pieces removed from Oyster Creek Park. Yes, and we need a process that circumvents that, because despite the fact that he donated them, this is a city property and we should be able to remove things that are not safe or no longer a positive investment.
So he says no,
He does not want them removed.
even if they're not safe.
Does not want them removed.
We can.
And we don't have any say so, the city right now, because it's not in writing.
Not until he agrees. He agrees for the he agreed for the astronaut because it was cracking in the back. The resin was completely, but the ones in Oyster Creek, I think even at one point he came out and painted the selfie ones. Like he believes he can maintain them themselves. I don't think there's anything wrong with that idea, but for a city, that's a bit of an issue, especially when we're dealing with carotid pieces. When you have a carotid metal piece, as you guys know, it can snap off at any of the points where it's beginning to get weak. And these are outdoor pieces. Every time we undergo a storm, we get into a situation with the water getting into the pieces and them being more and more dangerous as it progresses. I've been trying to get those pieces down for about 2 years. He's not interested.
Thank you. Okay.
Of course.
Oh, my question.
So I noticed the company had done some work in Addison.
Yes.
Do they have any other Texas examples? Do
Yeah.
they focus on cities like Addison or Sugar Land, or do they just, or is that just a coincidence?
They focus on, so they also do like installation, they do memorial projects, they do like large memorial walls, they also do master plans, they do just regular public art plans, which are 3 to 5 years. They do a little bit of everything. They have a team of architects, city designers, planners, and they take on a good bit. And like I said, it's 19 pages, and each one of those pages has about 11 different projects on it. So they take on anything that really makes a city more standardized in their process or approach to developing public art.
As part of their reporting or at least their development, various items here, are they also gonna possibly look at ways to showcase the art pieces here in the Sugar Land area? Case in point, this is something that I've seen in other places on these an example, a Google map, you know, when they could actually put some pins there, where maybe the city could have some type of hosting or at least a showcase of the Google, and they could pinpoint or at least show where these arts are located, and that'd be helpful for everyone to kind of see.
We have that. So we have it on 2 different websites. We have it on the Civic Arts website, which is hosted on the city's website. And we also have that on Visit Sugar Land as well. So if you go to Visit Sugar Land and click on public art, there is a map that leads you to pretty much every single piece. We also have a special map that leads you to our literary boxes. They are public art murals painted on these little houses that are full of books. And if you click on that, it actually tells you what books are located inside of each one of those. And when we refill them, we update those as well. So we do have 2 maps available for public art, and then we have that 3rd additional map that leads you to all of our public art libraries.
Thank you.
Yes, of course.
Anyone else? Oh, Heather?
Yeah, just one more question, and one comment is, you guys have done such a great job and have done so much over like this such a short time, so great job to you too. My question is, it's related to the plan that they're coming up with. Is it always gonna be like a 10-year plan? Is that what it is? It needs to be redone every 10 years?
It should not have been 10 years. Public art plans are 3 to 5 years, just like city master plans. That was an extremely long amount of time. I do know that my position was open for about 3 to 4 years as well. And then obviously COVID happened, so not a lot of art was happening. So there are a lot of different variant factors that kind of led to it being there for so long. That typically is every 3 to 5 years, like a city master plan. It shouldn't have gone on for so long. Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
So I'm curious, you had 8 people that applied, right? And then you went through the reviewing process. Can you describe a little bit of how you weighted the different companies? Because I'm sure you guys went through a fantastic job of weeding them out, but I'm just curious how you weighted it and felt this was the best one.
Absolutely. So one of the ones we received was the person who had done, for instance, and just using him as an example, he's great. He had done the original public art plan. The original public art plan the master plan was over 400 pages. Public art plans should not be over 80 pages typically. You should be able to get the concise information in those public art plans in less than 100 pages. So we look at their previous work. Are they building robust plans that are huge in mass but not in content? So we looked at their previous plans that they've built. Also, we looked at their plans to see if they were working in a city or if they were working in just, some people build public art plans just for a park, right? For just one park. We're going to build this memorial park. So we looked at their breadth of work. Are they building citywide public art plans, or are they building public art plans for just a specific location inside of a city? We received a good bit of those. We also received one. She was wonderful, great, but she did mostly festivals. So she didn't have the experience to really build a public art plan for an entire city that would last them 3 to 5 years in mass. So we judged off basically their previous breadth of work, and that led us to the top 2 that we had who had built master plans for actual cities and over a long period of time. And then obviously we looked at their cost. We did not pick the highest cost, but we definitely didn't pick the lowest. So this plan is sitting at 117. The reason for that is they are going to travel here, host multiple workshops, things like that. So there is travel, things like that that's included in it. But overall, the cheapest plan that we received was about $60K, and they had only done memorial parks, things like that. So they didn't have any expertise at this level where they're doing it for an entire city. So that was really our major metric, like, have you built a plan to this degree and this breadth at any point? If you had, what is the content of that plan? And we went through every last one of them.
And you mentioned their work in Addison. Was that for the city or a specific park there, or?
It's for the city. They built the city's master plan. Yes.
That's good because I used to live there and it's in some ways comparable. It's right outside of Dallas city limits. Used to be nice and small, but not anymore.
Said one consultant was 60K.
Yes.
Can I ask what we're paying them? Is that
117.
It's in,
117.
117?
it's in,
Sorry, I missed that.
No worries. Yes.
Any other,
thank you very much.
any other questions? No. As part of this, as part of the B here, so I'm gonna go ahead and say this. Shay does need a consideration and of an action on the recommendations to the city council to authorize a consultant service contract with MIG Incorporated to develop a new public art plan to guide the selection, placement, and management of the public art in the city of Sugar Land. So with that said, I will take motion.
I will make a motion for all that.
I second.
Thank you. Tracy second. So Joan Hanson will be first and then Tracy Pipes will second. Thank you.
I have that art.
That said, all those in favor? All right, thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much for your presentation.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
Beautiful presentation.
So next item we have on, actually, the last item we have on the agenda is the director's report. So
Those last two are combined.
so Miss Billy Pearl will presenting Director of Parks and Rec. Thank you.
Good afternoon, y'all. So our sports tourism study continues to be underway. You still have a chance until the end of the month to participate in the survey. I don't know if y'all have participated in the survey or not. I encourage y'all to. It's not just about sports tourism, it's about tourism in general, and the city's 5-year plan for tourism. So I encourage you to provide your voice if you need help finding. It's on our Facebook page and some other places, but we're happy to help y'all figure out where that is if you need to. Oh, it's there, okay. Or it's on a handy brochure that has been provided to you.
She was prepared.
Awesome. So the pickleball courts at City Park, we had a soft opening for them. Our pickleball folks were really anxious to get started. We're continuing on some finishing touches with some drainage and some lighting and some other things. On the right-hand side, you see pictures of our staff at work. Between our staff doing some of the drainage in-house and our public works staff helping us with some things, we've saved about $170,000 with staff doing this work instead of hiring the contractor to do this work. That helped us stay in budget on this project and be able to get all of these things done. So opening is the 22nd, is that right, of October? Yes. So we'll have the official opening then. We'll have pickleball paddles for everybody to play if you want to come out and play. And we're going to encourage City Council to play. We're getting competitive out there. We're also working on the Eldridge Park Improvement Project. This project is funded through Sugarland 4B Corporation. Eldridge Park is, a lot of our parks, as we've said, were completed in sort of the late 90s or late 2000s, right? So they're all aging and need a refresh. The Eldridge Park project is, the consultant is working on it currently. So what you see here may not be the final project. This is kind of a progress picture here. And some of the things that we're going to do are, a lot of the fields are in need of repair. The irrigation is, the soil out there is just the craziest soil you've ever seen. It's this expansive black clay, and it's very difficult when it gets hot, and when it gets dry like it is now, there's cracks in the sort of that big. So it leads to problems underground with the irrigation and things like that. So the irrigation needs a little bit of a rework. We're also looking at doing synthetic turf fields instead of the grass in some of the fields where we can. Redoing if you've been there, you'll notice, especially after a rain, that the parking lot and some of the other areas hold water. Again, that's because of the clay soil and just the settling and just moving of things in that area. So we're gonna be working on that, a lot of the settling, and then adding some additional areas, as you can see up here, potentially fitness areas and plaza. And some of this is shown as different phases, so it may not occur in this phase. We're working on our disc golf signage and other improvements at Imperial Park. The disc golf course was put in, gosh, it's been a while now, at Imperial Park, but so we're working on signage, working on replacing the nets out there, and some of those other things, and really giving it a revamp. We hold the tournament here every winter. It's been going on for a number of years and is very well attended. We've been working on our senior center planning for the future senior center. So this is a little sneak preview, this is just a taste, right? We're looking at several options. We're gonna be looking at these options with our seniors as well. We'll be looking at public input and some of the options and some of the costs and some of those things. We've been back and forth with them several times to look at different, for staff to give comments. And so we'll be going through another phase of public comments as well on the different options. Right now, we're looking at 3 different options. One option to add on to the existing center, and then 2 other options that will be new centers. One is a 1-story and one is a 2-story option. So we're looking at 3 different options there. But more to be seen. Funland and staff and master gardeners and master naturalists helped. I don't know if any of y'all traveled through this roundabout and may have seen this. They worked on a prairie patch planting event at the Lone Star roundabout. It's an area that they haven't been able to successfully keep planting in that area, and it needed some help. So Funland and staff and all these volunteers worked. It was a couple of weeks ago, I think. Yeah, a couple weeks ago. Worked out in the heat and installed all of these this pocket prairie project. So we'll see that. We'll watch that grow. We work with Eagle Scouts all year long, and recently we worked on a project with the Eagle Scout at if you recognize this windmill, that is at our butterfly garden. They are doing a water catchment project where, the windmill brings up the water, and so these tanks will hold the water and provide additional water for the.
I was very impressed because I didn't actually realize that the windmill worked. It pumps water.
Yeah, it does.
It's not a decoration. Oh, come on.
The function.
It's not a decoration. When we first installed those, it was, we wanted to make sure that it actually pumped water. The idea was that it would help fill the lake, but in actuality, it pumps very little water. So I'm sure it contributes, but it wasn't sort of this, gushing flow of water. It's very, it's very slow and steady, those windmills. So Funland and William presented a parks sustainability presentation at the Houston Galveston Area Council Parks meeting a couple of weeks ago. And it was very well received, and we're very proud of them for putting that out there and presenting that. Park of the Levee continues construction. As you can see, it's about 85–90% complete out there. Park of the Levee is in River Park. I'm not sure if you've been out there, you're familiar with it. Some of the improvements that you can see are pickleball. They've got a practice wall. They've got the concrete ping pong tables out there. So lots of additional activities for the neighborhood. The Senior Center has been working with Fort Bend ISD on a student voice advisory network. They projects that they work on. It's sort of a kind of a pitch to work on the projects with us. And so, sorry, I'm getting it wrong. Brian is giving me a look. All right. This is the presentation of the sugar knots to Fort Bend ISD. That is another project, but I got the pictures mixed up, so apologies. So Fort Bend ISD folks reached out to us. William and team did an excellent job launching the plane into the water, the sugar knots. And so Fort Bend ISD saw the work that they had done, and they asked them to come visit to them and present as part of a leadership presentation. So William and other city staff, they're reading a book called what was the book they're reading, Brianna? Remind me. They're reading the book that they're reading.
They're reading.
What book are they reading?
Yes.
It was a leadership challenge, right? Leadership challenge? I think so, yeah. So they had asked our staff to go and help them with kind of talk about leadership and how leadership factored into the project that they worked on, so that was cool. Parks maintenance, we talked about this, they are always busy at work. This was a big project, the pickleball project. With this drainage work, you can see how expansive that is with the things that they're doing out there. They continue to do great work. We offered a camp or are offering a camp during fall break, the TNBA camp. So we're busy at the Imperial Park Recreation Center with our basketball. Sorry, volleyball.
It's basketball.
Basketball. And the farmers market, we try to have quarterly activities at the farmers market. We are this Saturday having a Halloween related activity at the farmers market. So come and celebrate with us. And they'll have lots of costumes and arts and crafts and a photo booth and giveaway and a magician and a food truck and all of the things. So come and hang out and shop. The senior center did a swap meet, a garden swap meet recently. It was very, very successful. Lots of passionate folks with their plants. I think this is maybe the second annual swap meet. Yep, second annual that we've done. And it continues to grow and be successful. And then they had a fall fest, not to be confused with our fall fest, but they party a lot at the senior center. So all of these pictures are all of the partying. Just a reminder, you only have to be 50 to be, to participate in the activities at the senior clubs.
Close.
The quilting group always participates and provides quilts to Texas Children's Hospital and the medical center. This year, members of the class donated 160 handmade quilts to the Texas Children's Hospital. I can't even imagine how much work that was, but they're some great folks, so. We've been working a lot with our other city departments. IT did a class out there last month, and the fire department here recently did a senior center fall prevention class. Fall prevention is, preventing falls is one of the fire department's is one of the things that they're really focused on. They answer a lot of calls about falls. So the more that they can educate folks on fall prevention, it's better for everybody. They don't want to have to come and pick you up, and you don't want to be on the floor waiting for them. So they're trying to provide that education. The Diwali celebration is coming up on October 20th, and this is at the senior center again. They party a lot. They party a lot at the senior center. So October 20th is the Diwali celebration.
I have a whole committee.
And then also, of course, the Dia de los Muertos celebration as well. Lots. Well, I know, right? It should just be titled the Senior Center presentation. They're doing great things out there. We as a city, we also permit third-party events that happen in our parks or happen just in the city in general. These are some of the third-party events that happened recently. We had the Summer Meltdown Half Marathon. We had the Festival Salvadoranismo. It apparently made its debut outside of Humboldt for the first time in 12 years. So we were excited to have it. That's the big one in the bottom right-hand corner. So lots of runs. There's always something to do in Sugar Land. Always keep an eye on the city's calendar. There's always something. But and these third-party events, they're not just reviewed by our park staff. They're really reviewed by almost every department in the city, not just them. So they're always reviewed by fire department, police department, food inspection. Everybody puts their eyes on these to make sure that everybody's safe. We had our sponsors gala earlier, so middle of last month, September 18th. We always like to recognize our sponsors. We want to make sure that, that they make such a contribution to us, to our events, and to our city. And so we want to make sure that they know that they're recognized and appreciated. This is the first time that we've done a sponsorship gala. We've done in the past, we've invited them to ball games and to concerts. We really wanted to do something different and engage them in a different way. So staff was bold and they did something new. And this was really cool because it was at the visitor center. So we used a city facility as well to be able to do this. And it was
Great photo. Great photo. I love that.
They didn't tell me that the dress code was black, but they usually tell me. It's perfect.
Standing out.
So we held our fall festival on September 20th. Several thousand folks came to the festival and enjoyed that. It's always, it's usually, this one was just a tad before fall technically started, but it's always it's fall in spirit. We like to say that it's welcoming fall in and encouraging fall. So it's a lot of fun. The team did a tremendous job this year. We had to pivot a little bit because if you've seen the clock tower is being fixed. So we had to pivot a little bit. Staff pivoted last minute and they did a tremendous job of making sure that worked and did something a little bit different. But it was tremendous. We had a ton of sponsors. We had our hayride, pumpkins galore, face painting, all of the things. So it was very well attended and a lot of fun. It was warm as always, but it's always fun. We talked a little bit about the art installation at Smart Financial Center. These pieces, this obviously isn't the picture of the one in Sugar. Well, the picture isn't in Sugarland, but I encourage y'all to go take a look. The sculptures look dynamic and exciting during the day, but at night they are something to behold for sure. They're really beautiful, and this picture doesn't do it justice. I think there's some pictures on y'all's social that are a lot more enchanting. But it's hydrocoso. I think did I get that right? Build Better Block. Also ongoing, we've got there's a page dedicated to all of the activities that are happening out there. They had a really exciting kickoff. September 26th was the ribbon cutting, and then they had the Friday, Saturday kickoff. But the idea is that things are ongoing out there. So I know that there's some yoga and there's some classes and there's all sorts of things there. So I encourage y'all to either follow the Civic Arts page or take a look at the web page for everything, because it will be dynamic and ongoing for the next several months. So things will change on the daily. So keep an eye on it. If you have folks that want to help or participate or have classes out there, definitely let us know and we can send them y'all's way. We talked a little bit about the ribbon cutting. October 22nd at 9 a.m. Hope you get your practice in. And if you don't know how to play pickleball, I hope you. The IFBA awards. So our so our folks submit. They submit locally. They submit nationally every single year. And I don't know of a year that they haven't taken home any awards. It's quite a big trophy wall in our office. But this year we took the silver for best event website for City of Sugar Land's Memorial Day ceremony and best on-site decor named sign for Sugar Land's Fall Fest. So we should hear soon about the TFEA awards, right? So hopefully next time we'll be bringing y'all back another set of awards. The staff of one of the Texas Festival and Event Association, but we're really proud of our staff and the hard work that they do to achieve these recognitions. Yappy Hour is coming up. I've talked to so many folks that this is their favorite event. So many folks love Yappy Hour. If you haven't been to Yappy Hour, it is a dog themed event that happens at the pavilion that's across from the Palm Springs Dog Park. We have a lot of, if you have dogs, they even have stuff for cats, but mostly dogs. And we have a lot of on-site vendors and sponsors that provide a lot of goodie bags and interaction and just all sorts of activities. They had one year, we always have it around Halloween, which makes it interesting. They had one year where they had like, they spray tattooed like dog's fur and like obviously a dog friendly spray, right? And they took like, pictures of the dogs and all sorts of things. So if you have dogs, I encourage you to come out. Of course, your furry feline friends are welcome to attend with you. But it's right there across from Palm Springs Dog Park. And like I said, I've talked to several folks that that's their favorite one and they always go every year. But Thursday, October 30th, so right before Halloween. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions about any of the things.
All right. Questions or comments? Yeah.
Comment, that senior center, the pictures you showed us, we're crowded now. When you get that done, how are you getting, well, how many people will the new addition, the new addition accommodate? Because how many can we put now in Harlan and how many will we be able to put? Because that's gonna be a crowd. That's a beautiful facility.
Right, so every time we have expanded the center, which has been, even a few times in my short time here, every time we expand the center, we fill it up again, right? So, we're making sure that we're working within budget, within sight, but I don't have those numbers off the top of my head for you, but we can make sure that we have them for when we make the.
Just curious, but beautiful presentation. I'm always amazed at how many wonderful things y'all do. And the presenting it is just so delightful. Thank you.
Yeah,
The pickleball courts,
Yeah.
we've already tried them out before the grand opening, but
You didn't sneak in, did you?
watch, so. The lighting, does that mean that you can play like after sunset?
Yes, and yes, after the ribbon cutting. So the lighting is being installed now. They've been troubleshooting it. So it was on accidentally one night. So everybody got excited about the lighting. I'm like, no, we're still working on it. It's not ready yet. So after the ribbon cutting, the lighting will be available. I don't know that if we've discussed specific hours, but it will align with the tennis court hours, which I think are 9 or 10, I think, for the tennis court. So
I think it's 10,
yeah, 10. So yes, you will be able to play at night, because it's hot out here, and so it's nice to be able to play not in the summer heat, so.
Any other comments or questions? All right, well, thank you so much, Kimberly. That was a great presentation.
Thank you.
Lots of events to come up. With that said, we are looking at adjournment. Can I get a motion for adjournment? All right, Kelsey, second. Kelsey Lowe, Heather Gilligan. Second, with that said, we are adjourned. Thank you so much.
Yeah.